creative showcase is where we let you go forth in your talent and showcase to the world what it is that you do. I'm going to ask Keandra to sing the song, but here's the caveat. You can't sing something gospel.
I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control, and something takes over me. By my side, I swallow my pride. Your love is so sweet, it knocks me right off my feet. Oh my, can't explain why your loving makes me weak.
Can you do that just that one? Because I literally just got chills. Can you just do that? Can't explain just one more time, just so I can close my eyes and pretend like I'm in the front row of your R&B concert at the Grammy with your performance. Okay, one more time.
Can't explain why your loving makes me weak. I try hard to fight it.
Boom, boom.
No way can I deny it.
Boom, boom.
Your love so sweet.
What does it do?
Knocks me off my feet.
Take us home. Take us home.
I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control, and something takes over me. In a day, it is so amazing. Oh. Ooh, I can't explain why you're loving me weak.
All right. It looks like we are live. Super excited. Tonight, this last ain't gonna bother me on tonight. Tonight, I have the privilege and the honor to interview what we would say, I would think, this generation's gospel artists of goats of choir music. I'm super excited. We are gearing up for the Anthony McGahee and Praise Motivated, technically the 5th live recording, aka 3rd live recording. And we have the opportunity to speak with some of the best in the gospel music industry, especially specifically when it comes to choir music. I love all music. I love country. I love R&B. I love pop. I love jazz. I love gospel music. But then there's something special about choir music, because most of us as singers and praise and worship leaders, and most of us get our start in the gospel choir. So I'm super excited tonight. So we do have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Anthony McGahee. Hey, founder.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Are you excited on tonight?
I am excited.
Okay, so I get to bring these amazing gentlemen on. But what's really cool, what I just want to kind of start with, look, we got the man himself, Mr. Dr. B. Chase Williams of B. Chase and Shabbat.
What up?
Love it. We have Mr. Nate Bean of Nate Bean and Forgiven. Love it. And Midwest finest, Mr. BJ McCoy from Chicago, Illinois. BJ McCoy and Worship Experience. And then
y'all.
We're gonna have Isaac Brown from Isaac Brown and Gang joining us. So I listen. We are Midwesterners, so VJ is like an honor. It's not like I'm like fanned out like right now. But I am super excited. But what I want to start with is thanking you all for even listening to me, reading my messages, reading my inboxes. It felt really good because I said one thing and everybody was like, yes. Everybody, I didn't have to beg and plead. I didn't have to talk to management. I didn't have to do any of that. Everybody was willing to come and support somebody that I love the most. And so like that right there is amazing. We appreciate the support from gospel music industry artists that know what you guys know what this grind looks like, what it feels like. So I'm excited. I'm thinking we're gonna have a lot of questions on tonight from the audience. So I'm gonna hop right in and I'm gonna just go for it. We're gonna have a natural conversation, free flowing. So y'all sit back, relax. If y'all got questions or comments, go ahead and put it in the chat. Am I clear? Am I sounding muffled? I hear feedback.
There's a little feedback.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like an echo almost.
Oh, because I got my phone. What about now? Is that better?
No, it's like still, I don't know.
It's like an
Okay.
echo.
Javon, I'm gonna trust you to fix. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna let Javon fix it. So we're gonna hop right in. I'm gonna start with Mr. Nate Dean. Super excited. So I've been a fan for a long time. I had the privilege to meet Nate Dean and Forgiven some years ago. My godbrother, my favorite singer in the world, Cedric Shannon Reeves. He hosted. So it either had to be a big game concert. Is that what it was? It was big game. And you guys came up from Tennessee, and all I remember is it was three sopranos, and they oh my God, they screamed the house down, and you just kept making them repeat that you are the praise and drive, and they was hitting it every time, and I've been a fan ever since. So hop in, tell us a little bit about who you are, Nate Dean and Forgiven, and how did you get started with gospel music, with singing, with choir leadership? How did that come about?
I'm Nate Dean. I am a Nashville native. I am 36, and I started 4G when I was 16, I believe, 16 in 2004. um, for some reason, I was kind of just always pushed in the front to do stuff. um, I wasn't like pushed to be a lead singer, but I was just kind of pushed to kind of put things together or gather people, and it kind of started with my seventh grade teacher. Um, at the time, the school system was we weren't allowed to have gospel choirs, and so she kind of started something on the side after school, and yeah, we were just singing around the city doing corporate events. And then once I moved on to high school, I kind of started my own thing. And in the beginning, it was just me and my friends, some people from my childhood, and we were singing around the city. And halfway through that, it got serious. So I was like, wait, this is a thing, you know? And so it went from singing covers to finally jumping into songwriting, and it kind of took off from there. And honestly, I didn't have a bucket list of things that I wanted to do as it related to being in the industry per se. Um, we just kind of God kind of just led me into that. But I wanted to be a background singer. That was my thing. I wanted to pursue singing background. I started doing studio work when I was about 17 and had a group at the same time. So I was kind of doing both, but being in the background was the ultimate goal. And I just think God had another plan for me. And so I just kind of kept going with it. And here we are now, years later, kind of it being a real thing. So that's kind of how I jumped in it, honestly.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for sharing. Well, we're all fan favorites. So
Thank you.
I'm so grateful that God forced you to be in the
Right.
front. With your stamp on gospel music. So we love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. So I muted you guys. I think somebody's phone is giving something else because it was kind of clear when Nate was talking. So we'll mute until it's our time to speak because I think there's some feedback there. Same question. So who are you? How did you get your start in gospel music? And then how did you step into the role of music leadership?
Wow. I've been doing this all of my life, practically. My mother, I always tell the story. My mother, I'm B. Chase Williams, everybody. My mother shared with me, and I always share this story, that when she was pregnant with me, one of the mothers of the church was walking around, and she stopped and passed, when she was passing my mother, and she stopped and she laid hands on my mother's stomach and said, "You have a uniquely gifted um, son in your belly." And I mean, my mother didn't even know she was having a son at that particular time. And I sung my first solo in church at age 7. My grandfather is the founder of the church. My father is now the pastor in Cincinnati, Ohio, Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. So yes, I'm a PK.
Okay.
Originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Now I live in Atlanta, Georgia. And so it started for me at age 7, really, or actually in my mother's womb, but sang my first solo at age 7. Started directing the choir when I was around 10 years old. And the rest is history. Music is all I've ever known. It's all I've ever done. I've always had a love for it. When kids would be out playing, I would be grabbing my friends, lining them up on the stairs outside of our house as a choir and making them sing, and I'm directing. And they sounded horrible, but we had fun. I would listen to my mother's records because she was a gospel music lover. She was a music lover, period. But she had like the vinyls, and I would listen to the records, and I would pick out every part. I would stand there in my mama's choir robe, standing in front of the mirror, directing, acting like I had a full choir. And now we're where we are now. I moved from Cincinnati in the late 80s, 89, 90, to Atlanta, Georgia. And I was in Atlanta for 2 years, started my choir, and in September, it will be 33 years later that we're still here. And God has truly been faithful to us. We've been able to do a whole lot in the course of my career musically, and I just give him glory. I'm just a dude, a church boy that loves Jesus, loves music, and I have fun doing it.
Thank you for sharing. So, Mr. Isaac Brown he's in the back. So, Javon, whenever you get a moment, he'll bring you on. Well, we are fan favorites as well. So, anybody that sings the churchy version of Happy Birthday, y'all know where it came from. So, y'all give Dr. Williams his credit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm super excited to dive. I have some more questions about your music. I'm excited to dive in. Alrighty, Dr. McCoy, DJ McCoy from Chicago. Same question. Who are you? How did you get started with gospel music, and how did you step into the role of leadership? And I muted you as well, so I'll make sure you hit unmute.
Still, it's a long, complicated kind of thing with me. I was more into opera music, and I'm an opera singer, and I was a musical theater singer even young, in grammar school. But then I started getting into jazz, choir, and rapping too, because I rap too. And then, but yeah, I could rap. My cousins that run the streets, they be like, "Boy, you need to rap. You got bars." But I was so weird. Like I was like one of those weird kids. I like G.I. Joes and Transformers and stuff. But after I got through playing with them and beating them up, I would stand them up in a choir. Like then had the Decepticons would be the tenors, and then I have like G.I. Joe be that. So I was like one of those eclectic kids. And then I got my feelings hurt a lot when I was younger, when I would audition for musicals and I would out sing everybody, but the directors, they were not us, you know what I mean? But they were not us. And so I wouldn't get cast for those parts. They would, oh, well, you need to just do the background or dance or something. So I left musical theater, and it was the same in opera. It was no us in there. But I did have my refuge in high school, which was the high school gospel choir. So I focused there. They treated me right. There, they appreciated me. So I focused my attention there. I had always been directing since I was a kid, but trying to go professional, I was trying to go another way. And gospel was where I was most accepted, because when you try to do those other genres, they just really not giving you, your props of what you could do. So you go where you celebrate it. You don't go, trying to force your way in. And my auntie was a pastor. My grandfather was a pastor. So I ended up having to direct both their choirs as a kid. They would just make you're gonna direct our choir. It wasn't It wasn't no, you're not gonna do it, especially
Right.
being
No options.
right, and especially being sanctified and Kojic. So it was like, and you know what? Yeah, everybody that's Kojic and sanctified know you're doing it, and you're not getting paid. So you could forget that. So
Period.
you learn how to give the Lord his due in service. So I still do it. I'm old now and I be tired, but when people call, you still gotta go. And I tell people, the singers, all the time, you don't sing for you. You're not singing for you. And a lot of times you may, even though you're singing to the Lord, you're singing for those people. You gotta read that audience, and you gotta feel what they feeling, and you have to know that when you're ministering, even if you're depressed or sad or something, you got to get up and you got to minister for the people, because they might be going through something worse than you. So I still do it because that's the charge. God don't honor nothing that you want to do for fun, even though it is fun. And I love everybody on here. We didn't all been in concert together. We have a good time. He honors when you don't want to do it even more.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. I enjoyed learning about your musical background. I would have never guessed that. I love it. Founder, hey. So of course
Praise the God
I
of the
know,
Bible.
but can you please share with our live streaming audience who you are, what you do, how did you get your start in music ministry, and then how did you develop into a choir leader?
Okay, I'm Anthony McGahee. I like long walks. I ride bikes, and no, I'm just kidding. um, I got my start. Well, I am a PK, and prior to me being a PK, I was always just a church kid. My parents started pastoring when I was 10, but I had been singing since I was 5. And different artists would come to town, Vanessa Bell, the Clark sisters, and all that. And back in those days, people would send your name up on a piece of paper and say, "Let little Anthony sing," or "Let whatever, whatever."
Mm,
So that was how I got started singing. And I only knew 2 songs. I knew "Faith That Can Conquer," and I knew what's it with the "I Love the Lord." Those only 2 I knew solo songs. And so Vanessa Bell was, she was very dramatic, so she snatched the mic from me jokingly when I sang "Faith," because that was the only other song I knew.
mhm,
So growing up, I was already involved in singing, and so then I transferred to making my siblings sing, and running them and getting on their nerves, and driving them to be better and all of that. Then I got into uh, acquired them, of course, at church, but being Kojic, like he said, you didn't have a choice. It was there were no options. It was sing or die, and so we got started with the women's convention. An international women's convention was coming to Milwaukee, and we had 3 jurisdictions. All 3 jurisdictions came together for the youth choir to sing at the women's convention. That was when I was really, really introduced to me singing in a choir. Now, I've
mm,
always loved choir music. I listened to records and all of that stuff, and the Tommies, and it was prior to Ricky, because when Ricky came out, they had cassette. But the albums, I remember Clay Evans, and I remember Cosmopolitan, and all of those. I had the albums of, and so to actually sing that stuff, it wasn't until my teens. So with me starting First Motivated, we started out as a high school choir. So my young lady I was dating asked me to come direct her choir at school, and I'm like, I don't deal with kids like that. I'm grown, even though I had just graduated like maybe 3 months prior. But I was too grown to deal with kids. You out of school, you ain't trying to go back. So working with them, and 6 months after that, people outside of school that were grown wanted to be a part, that were adults. And so we pulled it out of the school. So it went from Marshall Gospel Choir to the Voices of Marshall to Voices, and then morphed into Praise Motivated 28 years later.
congratulations. Thank you for sharing. So, Nate, I have a question for you. Who is your biggest musical influence?
Loretta Devine.
Really? Are you? No, look, we listen and we don't judge.
I love her so much.
Yes, she the hoops.
Hey, Isaac.
What's
Biggest
up,
music
everybody?
inspiration. What up, Isaac?
How y'all doing?
Good,
What
man.
up, bro?
I finally made it.
You made it. Well, I'm coming to you in just a moment. So Loretta Devine is really your biggest. Okay.
I love her so much.
Expound.
Music, biggest music. Oh man, like choir master or just in general.
I guess I would say choir master because what inspired you
Oh.
or who?
Wow. I would say I enjoyed listening to growing up. I enjoyed listening to Donald Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a Baptist church. And our young adult choir, we kind of had a very, very wide span of music, but I enjoyed when we sang Donald Lawrence music. We actually, surprisingly, we didn't do the only song we did like by Ricky was More Abundantly. That's and so it was an interesting about the church, but I would say Donald Lawrence. We did one James Hall song, which was God is in Control. Like we kind of did a strong mix of things. But I think as I got older, I started to jump into like Darnell Davis. Oh my, Darnell Davis. Um, it's so many people. I'm scared to drop names because I don't want people to be offended. Um,
We
but
listening. We
yeah,
don't care.
I think it's just it's a wide span of people. Everybody on here. I mean, Chase. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the stuff that we kind of had going on here in Nashville. So it was a very, very wide span. The older heads, like older than me, they were on to like Whitfield and Milton Brunson, and so kind of I like to learn from them basically.
Oh, that's okay. So this question is going to be interesting with the age gap. I got it. Okay. So we're going to take a pause for the cause. Thank you for joining us, Isaac, Mr. Isaac Brown, Bishop Brown from Isaac Brown and Gang. Thank you so much. I'm glad you made it. I was just saying, I'm super elated to be speaking with you all, but I was so glad for the yes that everybody gave. It was very quick and simple, so I appreciate that. So can you just tell us really quickly who you are, what you do musically, and how did you get into choir leadership?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Hi, everybody know me, my bros. I'm Isaac Brown. I'm from Florida, 39 years old. I started my choir in the 8th grade. In the 8th grade in a little small town called Lake Butler, Florida. Some of you probably ain't never heard of. It's like 25 miles away from Gainesville. But I started that in the 8th grade. And how I started singing and stuff was I was about 5 years old and I was so bad, y'all. Growing up in the Kojic church, my mom could not leave me with anybody in the audience. She was in the choir at the time, in the adult choir. And I was so bad, so she couldn't leave me with nobody in the church, so I would have to go in the choir stand with her. And so from then on, about 5 years old, I was singing in the adult choir, knew the parts, everything, knew word for word. My pastor, first lady, used to be like, you keep that little boy in that choir. He just blesses me every time I see him. So that's how I got my start musically. Back then, like I said, I started just in a little small town of Lake Butler, and then when we would go and sing, I had my first event or engagement, as you would call it. It was a lady by the name of Evangelist Margaret Henderson. She's going on to be with the Lord now. She saw us in rehearsal because a lot of her family sung with me and gave me my first engagement, which was on December the 2nd, way back when. So that's why I have my anniversary in the first part of December, because that's when I did my first event. But yeah, and the rest been history. I mean, yeah.
So like my mind is just like kind of going, and I'm thinking like I be trying to have like memorable moments with like all of you. So I remember I took VJ's shoes off when we was in Chicago after he came down. I was listening because I know what it feel like when your feet they'll be on fire, right? So he had on
Was
a
that the Squad Fest with Kirk, with B Chase Neal was there, Anthony and them, and all y'all was there? Vanessa
mm-hmm.
Bell, Kirk Cott. Oh, that was a good one. Sure
Yeah,
was.
it was a good one.
I
That
read
was
my
a real
quiet too
good
real
one.
bad. I said, y'all let Anthony and B Chase them come and scream on y'all like this. I do that on purpose though to make them don't. You know, you can't let the people think they shy.
Mm-hmm.
Come
You don't
on.
never want people to get no big heads. So even if they did scream, I tell them somebody else screamed on them just cause you don't ever want nobody to think they just better than nobody in shop like that. So, but B Chase and Anthony them did scream that day. I got to give y'all props for that.
Yeah, I
Y'all
enjoyed
always scream.
We all right, you know,
I
we
mean,
all
really
right, but
scream.
child, y'all had wore the people out real good, and I was glad where I placed y'all at. I was so glad we sang before y'all.
I enjoyed that day. And so what I did not know, so I work in finance. I have a finance business. And so what I did not know is that we went to Orlando, Anthony? Was it Orlando? Well, we flew into Orlando, so maybe Gainesville. I don't know. Well, we went to Florida, and I was just posting, and I did not know that one of the young ladies that I worked with and I did business with, I didn't know that at the time that she was Isaac's sister. And so she went on, she did some amazing things. She's transitioned now. Was it her birthday?
Yeah, it
Okay,
was.
so it was so ironic. She was so influential to our business, and we went to AMPM went to sing in Orlando on his anniversary, which happened to be his sister's birthday. So I got to connect with him on that day. So like it's just all this stuff in my mind is like really really good. So somebody, VJ, I think it's you. I think you have to meet when you're not talking because it gives a little, yeah, yep, it gives a little feedback. So I'm gonna stay right here with you, Isaac, and then I'm gonna transition to everybody. But I'm curious to know your biggest musical influence as it relates to gospel music. Of course, that's interesting to know you was bad, and so you had to stay in the choir stand with your mom. But as you were developing, what was like your biggest influence?
Well, of course, the one and only everybody loves Ricky Dillard. It was Ricky Dillard for me, James Hall, um, Orlando Draper,
Mm.
Donald Lawrence. Um, those were the main influential. But coming up in my area, you had B. Chase Williams. Um, it was some local choirs here by the name of Pastor David Richardson and Top Rock. They used to have a community choir here called New Covenant, and New Covenant used to fellowship with Hezekiah Walker and Orlando Draper. It wasn't too many choirs that was really getting put on the map from Florida. So you had the Florida Mass Choir, which that was a big influence as well. But you really didn't have too many local, you know what I'm saying? So then when I got, older and stuff like that, and I started venturing out and actually traveling, I met my brothers, Anthony McGahee and VJ McCoy, and it was James Andrews and New Seasons, Jason Wright and the Master's Touch, and I also, God bless you, brother Nate Bean, did some Nate Bean stuff. I got a video of it, Doc. So just to let you know. So some of my peers like that, and like I said, I'll never forget. I'm just tell this little small little memory. We were with what it was, Anthony. We was in Detroit, right? For the Singers and
Yes.
Musicians Conference. The Real Dark Club used to do a Singers and Musician Conference, and all of these cats had these big old choirs, and I'm like, oh my God, my choirs, I think I only had like 12 people, and you had AMPM, they about 40 strong, you had Jason about 40, 50 strong, and you had James Andrews about 40, 50 strong, and we was the only little smallest choir, and I was like, oh my God, these people is for the sing us under the bitch. But I told my choir, I said, y'all, listen, we might be few in number, but we we've known to have the same type of style that we've been. People tell us all the time we have a Chicago up north sound. You know, so what I used to do, I used to teach all the up north, all the vibratos and stuff to create my own little style and add it to it. So when we were saying if we go to Chicago or New York or whatever, we wouldn't be intimidated. So it worked out. Anthony, when we sung, I think we sung Yes by Kenny Lewis. When you start off with the little soft tones and then you get real big, and we sung, and Dorinda and Karen and all them J Moss, it was like, wow, with these little bit of people. So we earned a lot of recognition through them. And Anthony came up to me. He was like, oh my God, y'all sound just like us. Y'all big like us. So that was a great, great moment to for me, being a little country boy from a little small town, being on the stage with those choir masters of yourselves, and being in front of Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole, which they brought us back, I think 3 years in a row. Although we didn't win, but they brought us back. So that was a great memory for me.
Period. Thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Williams, your musical influence, what does that look like? What does that sound like?
Well, I think I'm probably the oldest on this live.
Everybody's scared to shake their head.
Yeah, I think I'm the oldest on here, so I would have to go back a little further. Definitely Hezekiah Walker, Orlando Draper. That was a great friend of mine. He was a phenomenal director, phenomenal choir master. I learned a lot of discipline from him. He was a disciplined choir master. And I have to join with Nate. If I have to say my all-time favorite inspiration is Donald Lawrence. I just believe he's the GOAT. He has a brilliant mind, and the way that he attacks music, the way that he is nobody like him. So yeah, definitely Donald. And I mean, everybody on here, Nate, I definitely will have to say he's a big inspiration to me. Younger than me, but Nate Bean is, I mean, that dude is so freaking crazy. Phenomenal writer, and the way that he's able to pull things out of people just sitting in front of them. The way that he teaches, the way he's able to pull. I admire him. I admire VJ. I admire all of them. When I came up for AMPMs for Anthony's anniversary, was it anniversary? Yeah, anniversary last year. And just really being able to experience you guys, although I've seen you down through the years, able to just be there and really just focus in on y'all and your musical gift. I left talking about, I did not know Anthony was as dope as he is. So yeah, everybody on here, Isaac, my brother, just phenomenal. So yeah. And I think for me, my inspirations come in seasons, I guess.
That makes
this season is this person, this season is that person, so yeah.
That makes sense. Thank you. VJ, what's your musical your musical inspiration?
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
VJ. What is this with this dark church?
My kitty he'll get on. You see, he next to me. He'll jump in my lap with the light on, so I had to turn the light out. My cat so he'll go to sleep.
I got it.
So wait a minute, hold on, y'all.
That's my brother.
Because Nate was trying to make fun of my Android, but I got an Apple. Thanks. I got one. Somebody stole the other one. I think it was my cleaning lady, but we ain't gonna go into that. So and now Apple.
We bless God for the Apple.
Yeah, so Apple, but now they won't give me the code. They say they got to take 4 days or something to give me the code because I don't forgot the code. Y'all know how that go. So my inspirations go back a long way. When I was little, I was listening to gospel, but I didn't know who it was until I grew up. So a lot of the sounds that I liked would have been like Andre Crouch. They just had this cold harmony, but I didn't know it was them. And then when it came to actual songs, 'cause I'm a songwriter, it was like the Hawkins and Richard Smallwood, but I still didn't know their names. When I got old enough to know names, I will say I saw Ricky, and Ricky was like the inspiration of directing. Like I never seen anybody direct like that. And then, but the sound I heard was like a James Hall, those tenors. When I heard those tenors when I was young, I said, they sound like me. They sound opera singing gospel. So that was an inspiration. But when it comes to my peers are my inspiration more now. The people that Patrick Riddick, Kevin Terry, Sean Tillery, Cornelius White, that Virginia sound, everybody over there in DC and Virginia just squalls, all of them. And then I've been watching Anthony for years. Me and Anthony go way back to when we was little boys. We was 15, 16 directing on the scene. And I was studying, it's so crazy. I was studying. So I didn't know who B Chase Nail was until SOS. I don't know if you remember SOS, B Chase from Chicago. SOS, like y'all had a record come out, and SOS was like, "Oh my God, I get this record! I got to." So you know me, I want to be in too. So I'm rushing to New Sound Gospel. I got to get this record. Who is this B Chase? And when I heard the record, oh my God, them children said, they were singing something real high, and I said, "Oh my God, yes, this is what I need in my life." Y'all know I like bobblehead yodeling, so. So my peers are my inspiration. Nate Bean, I was just listening to his new record, and I said, "Child," that's my word, child. Can't nobody do this. Nobody but Nate Bean. None of us can do this. Nobody can write like this, have people squall like this, and you lead singing like that all at the same time. It wasn't just like he was good in one area. It was like everything was flawless. So I listen to my peers, and I listen to Isaac Nail when it's 12 of them and they scream. I listen to all that, and I learn from who's out now. I can name drop all day from Freddie Nim all the way in California. I don't know if y'all know them, all the way to Derek McDuffie. I listen to every single choir that's out. In somebody mentioned what's the choir from Minnesota? Somebody mentioned him earlier.
Darnell Davis.
Yeah, I listen to them, and sometimes I listen to his songs, and I'm like, this man's so cold on the songwriting. So a lot of my inspiration comes from everybody. Most of the people that I don't sing with on program.
Okay.
When I sing on program, most of the time, if I'm on program with you, I'm studying you. And I'm watching and seeing what you're doing, seeing how your choir act, seeing how, and I could write a whole list of what every single choir director is the best at that nobody else can do. Like I could throw it out and say no choir is as disciplined as Jackson's Eye Movement. I ain't never seen it. Child, the people coming, they don't stand up till he stand up. They don't turn the neck until he. So I study everybody, and everybody is the best at something. Except Nate, he the best at everything. Nate the best at everything, so he don't count.
Yeah, it was really good. And I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to come back to that. I just got an idea. Founder, so we're going to transition, because I'm curious about your musical inspiration, but I'm going to come back to that, because we're going to transition really quick, because I want to be respectful of your time. We are on the road. We are 9 days away from our live recording. We are on the road to this live recording. So, of course, we are super excited about it. So y'all can throw it out in any order. What I need to know from y'all currently to date, what is your favorite Anthony McGahee and Praise Motivated song?
He already know, man, because I requested every single time y'all sing it. It's the anthem.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Y'all know that's it for me.
Definitely.
Nate, what's your favorite song?
Mine is when she go, ha ha,
Most High.
yeah. That's
Most
that's
High.
the
Yeah.
one.
A lot of people like Most High.
Yes.
Isaac, what's yours?
The walk is on. That's my favorite.
You went back. You
Favorite.
went back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and most people do. Everybody want to hear the Lord reigneth. So now, Founder, what I need you to do is tell me your most memorable choir moment with each one of these guests.
Okay.
I love putting y'all on the
Well,
spot.
it really is on the spot. Isaac, my most memorable moment. Um, we were well, we have a lot of phone conversation, and Isaac knows that he can vent to me, and it stays here. So if somebody made him mad, I'm gonna hear it. He gonna call me, and he gonna let it rip. And our friendship is it works that way because they always tell me him and Kevin, God bless his soul, Kevin Lemons always tell me, "You so say," because they be ready to go off and want me to really, join in bandwagon. And I'm like, well, you got to think about, you got to look at it this way, or try to be that friend of buffer so I can calm you down because I'm not usually the one to, let's go get him, let's go. Yeah, that's not usually me. So Isaac normally, when he called me, he know I'm going to try to help settle him down.
Because you
So
so
one time
fast. We all say that. I'll be wanting you to
he
go
was
off.
Listen, he was so upset this one time, and I mean, he was yelling, and I'm sending my calm voice, Isaac, Isaac, Isaac. He said, "Would you stop calling my name?" But he was going off. So I love Isaac. That's my bro. Um, VJ, VJ. See, VJ is, how can I say? You don't see VJ coming. VJ will walk up and then VJ will say the most craziest thing, keep the straight face and walk off like he ain't said nothing. And I'm left here making this big scene, dying laughing because he done just said something that you just, I don't get how, what, we weren't even, that's not even part of where did that come from? Just, so VJ does that a lot. A lot. Usually, almost every time I see him at a program, if we're on program, if we're backstage, wherever, he just flips those little random, I bet her feet stink. I'm like, well, how did just what? It's just he just slides them in there, and I'm like, DJ, yeah, he got a straight face. They see me just dying laughing. That's just DJ, right? Okay, Nate. Nate is my famous crazy friend. And what I mean by that is that Nate is so humble, but everybody knows his name. And the mere mention of him, just, they just know him. And I fell in love with Nate's writing a long time ago. And he already knows on his latest album, my favorite song is My Everything. I cry every time I hear it. And it speaks to where you are, right? So anytime people that write can speak to where you are, where you can relate to, that's what makes a good writer. Not to write this fantasy stuff that ain't nobody ever experienced or never really going through, they can't relate. But someone that you can relate to makes that writer a real writer. So I have that experience with Nate where he just makes me cry and then he laughs because I'm sitting there sobbing and he's just dying laughing. But anyway, Chase, I have known Chase since I was a teenager, and he used to fellowship with my former choir director, Brother Robert Wilson, God rest his soul, with Wisconsin State. And Chase came up for I think you were doing a play or something, and that was where I first met him. But when I started my choir outside of the Lord Reigneth, the first song we sung was Rapture Praise. All right, correct selected, right? So we was already into, take a trip, all that, all of those wonderful, wonderful songs from the first album and even the second album. I knew all the stuff. So when he would do like medleys of the old and all that, I knew every song. I'm up there with him like as if, I'm part of the choir because I'm a choir head. So that was a great influence to me as well. So yeah, and then when Chase came and spent the weekend with me for our anniversary, it really meant a lot to me. It really did. Because again, this is someone that I looked up to coming along. So, for him to even consider coming and not just coming for the musical, but like he stayed the whole weekend with us, and it was just amazing. So definitely have all those things. But yeah.
I love it. So it's really interesting to see that these are not one-sided relationships, that you guys literally have a bond. And that's a blessing just to, be able to witness. So I'm curious, can you each share, and anybody can go first, your greatest, I would say, either victory or accomplishment or most memorable moment that you've had in your gospel music career? And anybody can jump in.
I'll go first because one
Hey,
that popped
husband.
up. So the most memorable that I have is we were doing the Dorinda show, and it was in Detroit, and we were supposed to sing just our one song and be done. Well, the producers needed us to keep going, so we did that one song like three times, and they needed us to keep going. Then we did like two more songs, two different songs, and they just keep going. Dorinda heard us from the back of the stage. She ran out. She said, "Do it again, because I'm gonna leave. And call me out. Call me out. I'm gonna sing with you." I'm like, "What? Do it again and call you out? What? Okay. All right. Fine." So we did it. That was like the sixth time, sixth song. We were only supposed to be there for one song for her show, right? We did it. Called her out. We did the song. Rocked it out. Great. I'm thinking everything is good. She said, "Okay, let's do it again. I think I got a better one." When I tell you that was about 7 or 8 songs total that we did, but it was such a dream come true to sing with Dorinda on a song because she's one of my greatest musical influences.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely that moment to sing with Dorinda and all of that, yeah, was great. But go ahead.
Thank you. And who's next?
I can jump in.
Go ahead.
And please don't stone me for this, but
we listen and we don't judge.
my most one of my most memorable moments that were really big for me. I've always been a fan of Michael Jackson from childhood. He just everything about his life, his story, his journey, I was always just blown away by it. So in the early stages of Shabbat, I got the phone call to come, and I was working with a lady by the name of Kendall Monroe in New York, and she worked with Sony. And Michael and oh my God, what is his name? I don't know why I can't think of his name. It's right at the top of my Spike Lee. Was working on the They Don't Care About Us. And they needed some background singers to do the chant. And they flew me to New York. And I got to be a part of that project, singing background, not doing gospel. I mean, Michael was in there with his big dogs. And I was like, to this day, I can see it like so vividly. And that was like a dream come true for me because he was like my all-time favorite superstar.
That's dope.
And I'm able to say that I did actually do something on that project. So
we would never stone you for that. We love that. That's so dope.
Yeah, that's dope.
The Michael Jackson. What?
Yeah, it wasn't gospel, but praise the Lord.
Listen, you use your voice. Who's next? Go ahead, VJ. I see you. It looked like you were trying to come off mute.
I got a few little here's and there's. Let me see when I was sick and had cancer, we had recorded our worship CD, and I told the choir, I said, well, we're gonna put it out. I was having a lot of problems, and everybody that's in independent know you pay people and they don't do you right. folk I had paid, they hadn't did their stuff, and I'll just leave it at that. That way we won't go into. But it's a lot of post production stuff that's supposed to happen, and they had their money, they didn't do right, so it took so long. And by then I was sick. I had just the beat cancer, but I said we'll put out the record in case I die. That's what I told the choir. We'll put it out, so at least you have this record in case I die. And I don't know, it might have been 2, 3, 4 weeks after I got 2 emails from Billboard. And Billboard said this record is charting. We need the information. So then I found out that we were number 1 on the Gospel Heat Seekers and number 1 on another gospel thing. So we charted on Billboard, and then we ended up not too long after that won a Stella for the indie. When y'all remember when they was doing the indie artists. Yeah, so I had a couple things, and then I got to do backgrounds for Alicia Keys on tour, me and the choir. So we had some highs, but my favorites is always singing with other people on Squad Fest, singing with B Chase and Anthony Nam, and singing at Nate Bean's. He had this choir thing in Nashville. I'm talking, that was a good time. Nate and them sang one song and Squall for like 10 minutes of one song. I said, ooh, y'all, they just ate us up with one song. One. Y'all remember that on the fan?
On your name. Stella Award winner.
Yeah, so we have quite a few awards, and then we even got considered for a Grammy with Vanessa Bell doing a song with us. That's a highlight. I can say Vanessa Bell came recorded. She is my favorite gospel singer of all time. I've never heard anybody sing like her. I don't think anybody can. I put her right next to Aretha. They have these voices that you just can't. And so when she came and did that song for me, I think that was probably my favorite, best moment, just because I love her so much. And it's so crazy that Anthony said he knew Faith, because when I was little, that was the song I knew. We would anybody else that has a musical ear, we would listen to Vanessa Bell and study that voice, because you only other person that ever could even do that was Daryl Coley. Sing in that ornamentized type of way. So I think Vanessa's probably my favorite moment of all time, even though we've sung with a bunch of celebrities and stuff, but I just love Vanessa. She's such a sweet lady. And mama she forgot the words of the song and read it right off the iPad for me at the recording.
I learned how to do choir singing from listening to Vanessa Bell, because she used every type of tone, every type. She would go straight from a bark to a clean, hold up, no, bend it, or voice control. I learned from her. So by the time I got to the choir, I already knew what I was doing from listening to her.
Yeah, she would do the nasally, all that. She do all that, and then just go into a growl and a run, and it's amazing, because I be telling, I'm like, Auntie, you almost 900, and you can still hit every single note. Here I am.
This the kind of stuff he say and walk away.
This is the kind of stuff. This right there. Example A. Exhibit A.
I be telling her, like, here I am, finna be 62, and I can't hit them notes like that, but you finna be. You was way older than me, but yeah, I do say stuff like that. I don't be mean no harm. Anthony don't be mean no harm. I just be a gag, because she know it. But she literally can hit all the same notes. And here I am. I can't hit the same notes that I could hit 5 years ago. So she's the GOAT.
Period. Thank you. Isaac, what about you?
Well, actually, I have 2, but I'm just going to elaborate just small. When we came to choir, Squaw Fest in I forgot the year, but VJ had us there, and I was nervous as all get out, because when you go to Chicago, you have to sing, and like I said, country boy from Florida. I think we went on like a little mini tour. VJ had us at his Squaw Fest. We was at Cosmo. We were at
Sweet Holy.
What's the other church? Greater Harvest, and it was one more. But I'll be ever. We went on a tour and we was like, oh Lord, we got to really bring it. And Chicago showed us mad love. It was like every church we went to, when we opened up our mouths to sing, it was like they got with us. And, I mean, the Holy Ghost took over and the rest was history. And waiting to come back real soon. And my other one was when we all was at Squaw Fest again for James Hall. We all went to New York, and that's another place that you have to come and bring it. So, long story short, everybody saw, I think, VJ them. Who all was on there? VJ, John Fox. It was a lot of choirs there, and of course, we were last. So, with that being said, you got all the people that's on the live, and everybody chiming in like, oh, everybody on song. We hope this choir get up here and just really do what they got to do, because it's hard to come behind, why come behind all these choirs. So we got up there and we sung a little opener by Bishop Ford, and got up there and did, somehow made it. And the rest was history. I mean, it turned into a revival. So that was a great moment. Because after, they're not saying nobody had the Holy Ghost or the anointing or whatever, but everybody did good. They did good screaming. But it was just after, seeing a lot of the people that you look up to, how, they heard you minister and the power of God just fell. Like, I mean, I whenever I get discouraged or feeling like I want to give up, I always revert back to that movie. Thank you. I mean, not movie, but the video. VJ, you recorded it, so I always go back to that whenever I feel like, oh, I'm really supposed to be doing this. God, did you call me to do that? So I go to that, and hey, everything be all right from that point on. So those
Can I chime in? Y'all really, we had church where Isaac Nam sang after people was in there speaking in tongues and rolling the flow for a good hour after services. As a matter of fact, I was just at SOAR. I don't know if y'all saw SOAR Awards had a choir edition this year, because I didn't do a Squad Fest this year because it takes, y'all know when you run stuff, it takes so much out of you to pull everybody together and get those schedules. So I didn't do it. So he did just a SOAR. So James Hall, we honored James Hall. Him and Dr. Kevin Bond were there. And Dr. Bond said, bring the Squad Fest back to New York. So now that you've thrown it out there, I'm letting you know, get your traveling shoes ready, all of y'all, and let's go support our brother, because he need us right now. Everybody know what's going on. So we need to go and support our brother and do something in New York for Dr. Bond. So I'll get all y'all schedules and we can go and bring the people out and let's support, because all of us are in this together. And so when one of us is hurting, then we need to band together and do our best to help out where we can. So, which is what the Squad Fest is for. It's a platform that I created, but it's so crazy because I created the Squad Fest the same year B. Chase created Choirs Rock, and Marquette Middleton created Choirs United. So the Holy Ghost was moving because he was giving us all the same idea to do what we do. But then it lets you know, don't think that you the only one, because God will use somebody else if you don't do right. If you don't do what he tell you to do, he got 2, 3, 4 more people that's gonna do what he told you to do when you didn't do it. So you might as well go ahead and do it. So Isaac and Nate and B. Chase and Anthony, y'all, we got to go back. We gotta go. So y'all give me y'all schedule so we can go and bless our brother in Citadel. They need us right now. But all y'all out there, find Dr. Bond page too, okay? And y'all send him a blessing.
Thank you. Nate, what about you?
Every time somebody says something, I change mine. To be honest, a lot has happened these last few years, and I honestly don't feel like I've even embraced it all or even celebrated like I should. So I think that's kind of why I'm torn. But I would probably have to say, since Chase and Anthony were there, I'm going to actually say the live session that we did in Nashville was a highlight for me because the goal, I did a live recording, I think in 2011, 2013, and it was not what I thought it. I was young, we were all young, and so I knew that this last session, it had to be, to me, perfect. It just had to go a different way. And so that music that we recorded, we sang, I rehearsed that music with them for about a year. The format, and they'll tell you, like, I really didn't even direct. That's how much we drilled it that they could just kind of do it on their own. And that night, it was almost scary because there were no hiccups. I was almost nervous, like something's gonna happen, you know. But to see that all pan out very well, and then to now have released the record, and it's literally the same thing. And to be very, 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 very honest, what we released is literally what happened that night. There's no extra nothing. I ended up using my engineer. He basically just mixed the record from that night. And I feel like that's a strong highlight for me because and honestly, God told me to drop the record that year, like that next month.
Mm.
And I didn't. But I know I wanted the record to kind of feel like we were all there again. And we went through some things after that. And now that it's here, it's just like, you know what? I should have listened, but I kind of feel settled now. I feel like that was a big highlight for me. And I guess the second one would be The Wave with All of My Help. That was that was genuinely mind blowing. More so you just never know what song people are going to grab, and I don't think All of My Help is one of my best songs. So to see that be the one that it was mind blowing to see the response from that. I think it's a cool song, you know, but that was a really, really cool highlight to kind of see how that just went from 1 to 10 like in months. And we only sang the song one time, so and they didn't want to sing
Really?
anyway.
Live.
So
Yep, on the video. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm
Listen,
saying. So we sang
we
it
so
one
we
time.
gonna
It was
call
just
you
like,
one take Nate Bean. Y'all do a whole live recording. Ain't got to go in and fix nothing. You one take.
At all.
Listen, one
At
take
all.
Nate Bean.
And
Like literally
Yolanda, and
that night,
it was crazy. Yes. Go ahead, Tracy.
that night was pure excellence from beginning to end. I was so blown away that night. Me and Aunt, we were all talking. We were just blown away. I mean, the execution. I mean, the spirit of God. Everybody was there. It was like a spirit of unity. Everybody was on the same page. Spirit of oneness. Nobody. You ain't really feel no funny stuff. It was just pure. It was organic, and you're right where you're supposed to be, man.
thank you.
Yeah.
You
I
really are.
remember even him asking me. Now, I had heard All of My Help from his live that he did. So I enjoyed that, right? And I forgot that he had wrote it. So fast forward, New G get ready for our session. We're going through rehearsals and going through the songs. Nate's like, hey, so how you liking the songs or whatever, whatever. Because we talk music. And I was like, oh, they're pretty good, whatever I said. But it's just one song. I said, I'm trying to remember, because when you're learning this stuff, you only it's so much overload, so you don't remember the names, you can't remember where it starts. I was like, um, I said, it's like, all of my help. And I'm just, I said, this song, it goes hard. He said, I wrote that. I said,
Aw.
you lying. Because I had no idea. And when he said it, then I instantly saw the video in my head, like you showed it. Yeah, yeah. I was cheering as if it was me. I was proud as if it was me, like because I love my brothers, and so anytime one of us go forth, I'm excited. I'm pushing and rooting for him. So definitely, make yeah, yeah.
I love it. So, okay, I'm curious. So that was the highlight, and I don't want to bring the energy down, but I would like for you guys to share what you would say maybe one of the biggest challenges you've had in your gospel music career, but how did that develop you into who you are right now in this moment,
I'll
since
start
all
with
things
that
work
one.
together? Go ahead.
I think for me the biggest challenge for me about a few years ago was finding the path and finding the formula. I struggled with that maybe 6, 7 years ago, and I think God had kind of settled my spirit and was just kind of like, there is no formula. There's a formula that they give us that they say we're supposed to use. And then one day I just kind of felt like, well, when you turn 30, something just kind of clicks.
Right.
It's just like, bro, I don't have to do this like this. Like I don't have to. I feel like that was my biggest challenge for thinking you have to do this. Your graphics have to look like this. You need this type of radio. You need this type of. And eventually, I was just like, hey, I think people actually just want the music. They don't. People just want the music, and they want you to keep doing it and keep singing. And I feel like once I got over that hump, I became more comfortable with my sound and my ideas and my way of doing things. And I kind of feel like once you get settled in that space, the sky's the limit. And I think people want the most genuine and organic version of you and not what's already out there. Like nobody wants two Nates or two Chases or two, you know what I'm saying? It's like having three Rickies. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so I feel like the challenge of finding your identity and sticking to that could be a challenge. But once you like overcome it, it's on from there. Literally.
Yeah. Thank you. Because for even the people that are listening and admiring the people that are speaking, we got to know that it's not always easy, but it's absolutely worth it. VJ, you okay? I'll promise. Give me 10 minutes. You all right? I'll see you rubbing your eyes. You know, folks get to scratching. That mean they sleepy.
No, I think my cat got some cat hair in my eye.
Oh, okay. I was getting nervous. Okay, and whoever wants to go next can. Dr.
Well, one of my and I think I can kind of like go along with Nate is the challenge of being comfortable with who you are and what you bring to the table and knowing that it's okay. When we came out on the national scene, the choir had only been together for 2 years. And we entered into what they had back then in the early 90s in Atlanta, the Black Expo. And we sung on the gospel stage. And it was back then we had a place called the Atlanta Civic Center. That's where all of the concerts and festivals used to be back in the day, like big, huge auditorium. And we entered into the gospel stage. And so we came out on the stage and it was only in a big old 5,500 seater. It was probably maybe 20 people in there. And I'm like, I had to encourage the choir. I was discouraged. I'm like, what are we getting ready to do? 20 people. So I immediately just looked at the choir. I said, okay, y'all, this is just like choir rehearsal. Let's go out there and do what we do in choir rehearsal. Went out there, killed the stage, not thinking anything could come of it, but not realizing that out of those 20 people, Ben Tankard was out there. James Ballard was out there, who was the president of Intersound CGI back then. Jeff Hargrove was out there, and Renee Boone. They're all execs in the gospel industry back in the 90s. And came backstage. One of the choir members said, somebody want to talk to you. Came up to me. You guys were amazing. I'm such and such from Intersound. And we want to check you out. Let's exchange information. Gave them my number. And probably 4 to 6 months later, we had our first national record deal.
That's what's up.
And released our first CD, Take a Trip. Went to the top 10 on Billboard and stayed there for a long time, traveled the country, and then followed up with our second CD. And then there started to become a shift in the industry where they start pushing choirs out and pushing praise and worship and solo artists and stuff to the front. And so because I felt like that was the formula that Nate was talking about earlier, I downsized my choir to a group. I hurt people. because I felt like I had to do what the industry was requiring of me. Although the group sounded good, it was a flop.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go back and do my first works over. And in doing that, I had to go back, repent, and repent to myself, repent to God, repent for myself, and repent to my singers, and tell them I am sorry. I made a mistake. God called us to be B. Chase Williams and Shabbat Choir. We're gonna pick it back up, and we're gonna move forward with it. Whoever like it, fine. Whoever don't, we're gonna work our butts off, and we're still here.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Not trying to be like somebody else. Be who God called you to be. You're only graced with your grace.
Yes.
That's right.
So be who God graced you to be, and be the best that you can be at that. And God will honor your obedience to his call.
Teach, Chase. I love it. That's so good. It blessed me. That's so good. I appreciate your transparency. Go ahead, Fonda.
Well, for me, I'm a natural introvert, so I'm forced into being an extrovert, right? And in a industry that only really pays attention to extroverts. So when we go places when they don't know who I am, they treat us different and not always kind. Then
Usher.
when we get done singing, then all of a sudden, hey, I got that shot. They're trying to get us water and all this one other stuff. You couldn't give me a fan before, and now you're trying to give me water. And like so that is a little discouraging when it comes to, because it's I feel like Color Purple. Every night I got to fight to prove my love or fight to prove who I am, to these people, just to be treated kind, because it doesn't take anything to be nice, to people on either side of the stage. I remember even going to a choir fest, and it was at least 30 people, 30 choirs on this choir fest. And we had to get a number, and it was so long. We were asked to do background with another artist, with another choir, just to combine, not to be our time, but just to help that artist out. We did that. Then they put us back to the bottom of the list to go up, as if that was your time there. And so we had traveled all the way to this location to sing. And now it's almost 3 in the morning, and they still got about 15 choirs to go. And we're at the bottom of the list because we did a favor for one of the artists. And that was very disheartening. So we ended up not singing at all. After that, that was one of the rare times that I've been visibly upset, visibly, because I do pretty good with just remaining nice and just staying smooth, but don't mistreat my people. And that comes with the territory, because some people don't know how to treat people, period. And you have to still remain graceful, even if you got to get them together. So I had to learn that balance in that. So that would be my experience as far as something that I didn't like. But go ahead.
Okay, I appreciate Isaac.
Well, just to piggyback on what Nate and Dr. Chase said, and so called with Anthony too, finding out who you are, being your own person, because a lot of artists, a lot of us, we struggle with, you want to scream on this program, you want to out scream that, and like you said, when you get older, that stuff don't mean a hill of beans. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the major things that I struggle with when writing. When I write my music and write my songs, is the people gonna like it, or is my peers gonna like it? They're gonna receive it. And after I had this real encounter with God around this time last year, when I was in the hospital and I almost died due to a appendix rupture, I promised God, I said, God, if you give me another chance, if you bring me out of this. I promise I'm gonna do your will and your way. And ever since then, I kept my word, and God has been showing Himself mightily. Because you got some people that, oh, well, we need to do this, we need to sing this. We all got these choir members that have these opinions, or maybe we should, but don't want to sing your music that the Lord has given your founder.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I'm dead and gone, if I'm singing everybody else's music and not singing my own, then what we gonna remember Isaac Brown again for? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I dealt with a lot of that, like I said, just trying to, make sure that I'm accepted with my type of style of singing or whatever that case may be. But yeah.
Thank you.
That's about the only thing, and I can attest to Anthony. I think we were on that same program back then when, like he said, we had made it to the choir stage and they shut the lights off. So yeah, we had all hours and stuff. So I can attest, and you got to remain humble. You got to have some type of Jesus so your people won't see you flip out.
Yes.
They see you lose.
They be ready.
Listen, it's gonna be a world.
They be ready.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that was one of my things.
Choir's gone wild.
Right. So that was
they be ready.
That I can say that was, just finding who you are, staying true to yourself, use it to what God gives you. Because when God gives it to you, you ain't got to worry about nobody stealing it, nobody doing it the way you do it, because God gave it to you. So, yeah.
Got it. I think VJ had to do something with the cat. So we're gonna wrap this up. But so the next, go ahead. What was your most challenging moment, and then how did you get over that? You on mute. Let me unmute you. I'm sorry.
Let's be talking.
We talking about low stuff. Okay, so I can make it real quick. So I've been an executive for a very large company for a while. I got seriously injured a long while ago, and nobody knew. Very, very injured. So I was on pain pills and all types of stuff that alters. Even now, I can't type the way I'm supposed to. I can't remember stuff the way I'm supposed to. I post stuff that I shouldn't post, and because they got me on all this stuff. So they finally approved the surgery after all this time of being hurt. So now I'm walking. I can't walk the way I need to walk. So I had to do this tribute to Ricky Dillard for the SOAR Awards and couldn't direct. And when you're doing Ricky Dillard, you have to do bends and twirls and all that to get it right. Now I trained the choir to sound good. They hollered, but I couldn't get anything. So that was just one of the lows of the many lows because of this injury and these drugs they had me on. My post, I don't know if people who know me who type, they know certain stuff that the way I type is different. I'll post stuff that I shouldn't have posted, and then it'd be like, oh wait a minute, I meant to do something else with this post, but then it came out. So long story short, now they're and they held my money up, y'all, after being hurt. I had no money. I was not used to that. I was used to paying for all the stuff for the choir.
Yeah.
I was used to paying for everything because any choir director know your choir ain't gonna do right. You could say all day this the assessment fee, and you be done playing for 20 people to get $300, and I promise you 5 of them ain't gonna do right.
Yep.
So I was used to working a job, making very good money, and I would just cover it. And they said they gotta go, but when you got a little choir like we got, you better hold on to them voices. So I went through a very long stretch of 2023 and 2024 of depression because of that injury, and even now it's still. I will show y'all I'm still in a boot after being hurt all 2 years ago. So that's my depression with gospels. I couldn't do what I want to do when I needed to do it on a major platform. But I couldn't tell nobody at the time what happened because legal stuff. I couldn't say nothing then. So now I can say it. So that's what happened. That's why you see me posting crazy stuff like that and all that because of all those drugs. So I had to make a choice to stop taking those mind altering drugs so that my mind would be right. So now my mind is right, but now I'm in pain all day. So we see that. I don't know if y'all watched my anniversary I just did. I was sitting down. Yeah, I was sitting down. So that's where we are because the devil has attacked my foot. So I got a choice. I could take the man altering stuff and not be in pain, then post crazy stuff, or not take the stuff and then just be in pain. So that's where I am. And then also as a choir director, choir members don't be want to do right when it comes to assessment fees. They just don't. And you got to be prepared for that. Isaac, no.
Put them out.
You should put them out.
Ooh, y'all, hey, I guess we gotta have ours. But
that need to be a shirt. Put it on the t-shirt, and we are bad. Chase.
Put them out.
Put them out.
I
promise you, I'll buy that shirt if you put it out.
Yeah. Anthony, I'm laughing because all the AMPM in the comments like they TTG. They don't play. They don't play about our founder. Because I'll be like, I say words he don't say. So,
right.
Okay, so I'm so glad to have this opportunity again. Oh, how do we want to wrap this up? Okay, so let's do this. I have two more questions and I'm going to tell y'all what they are so y'all can think about it. The first question I want to know from each one of you is what are you doing currently? Any new music coming out? Any new projects? Any upcoming concerts and engagements? That's going to be the first question. Then we're going to wrap up with the last. Let's answer that first because I do kind of like putting that on the spot. So go ahead. Anybody can jump in. New music or what you got going on currently? Go ahead. Chase, you can go.
Yes, we are actually getting ready to release a new single. Okay. Entitled Secret Place. Excited about that. I also have I've had it for going on a year and a half. In June, it'll be a year and a half. I have my own radio show entitled The Radical Praise Hour with B. Chase Williams. I'm on 5 different networks every weekend. And I'm really loving it. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. So I'm really putting a lot of myself in this radio show and really pushing it to the next page. The choir's been busy. We're moving still. You have busy seasons, you have slow seasons, but God is keeping us busy. So I'm grateful for that. And yeah, still doing what we do.
Thank you. Who's next?
So all of y'all, I need y'all music, although I play it anyway. And 3 of the stations that I report for that I'm on are media-based stations. So when I play your music, you getting counts for it.
Y'all send that music. Hey, Rashard. VJ, what do you have? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nate. That's fine.
Oh no. So the album dropped last Friday.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's going on now. My plan is to by summer, early fall, to do a quick tour run with the choir. Hit some cities up. I want one thing. I guess this is a highlight as well. The last couple of years, I had wrote down a plan to make sure that my choir members have the opportunities to be compensated, and not just with engagements, but with corporate gigs, with other things that happen in the city. So that's kind of one of my highlights for them to. So sometimes if you see us and it's only 6 of them or 9 of them, those are one of those opportunities where they can take some money home, just for, their sacrifice and stuff like that. So I don't always have the whole crew with me, but when it's a small number, those are one of those times where I can make sure, hey, I can give this back to you. Thank you, so I want to do a tour to where we can, hit some places, getting a sprinter, go a few places and come back, with something and to put back in the ministry and for their pockets, for their sacrifices. I mean, they have kids, they're married, you know what I'm saying? I never want them to think it's just a me show because it's not. I literally it wouldn't be me without them, and they absolutely know that. So that's pretty much what we have going on. I think I'm going to do another live session within the next year. So I'm already planning live in Music City too. There's a lot of music that did not make this record that I want to be on the next one. So I'm going to start taking the next 6 months to kind of plan that out and get that together. And that's pretty much it. So like, look out for that, and hopefully I'll be coming to y'all city soon. You know.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yep.
VJ, what you got?
I did a recording a while ago. The Big Squaw Fest in Florida. Isaac B. Chase was on. Anthony, was you at that? I don't know. Everybody was on that Squaw Fest. Y'all remember that was one that the Real Walls and them everybody sang on. So that recording is going to come out finally because people finally doing what they're supposed to do. And the choir has engagements this weekend, and then we're in Dallas twice back to back. We got to go down in August for Ray. I don't know if y'all know Ray from New G that used to sing in New G. He's got something coming up, and then we back in Dallas again for Mark Quinn in October. So I know that we got that coming up, and then I might do a Squad Fest in Chicago. I don't know because Dr. Bond said come back to New York. So if you ask people to come to one, they ain't gonna come to the other one. So I got to make up, see which one, and then I had stopped doing Squad Fest at the SOAR Awards because it was just wearing me out. But he told me to bring it back to do it again for this year because he got a big SOAR Awards coming up. He got Don McClurkin coming. He got Fred Hammond coming. He said do a Squad Fest the day before or the day of this award. So I said, okay, I will do it again because it do take out. So those are the plans I got for gospel music at the time. But let me just interject. Nate got a song on the record called Faithful. That song right there, that Faithful song, that's just radio and church and everything I need. That's just that song is it's like the perfect song because it's perfect for radio, it's perfect for church, it's perfect for a choir or a praise team. I just had to throw that in there. That is like
did Dr. Bond host one of your Squad Fests in Chicago?
He did.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
He did.
Okay. I just want to make sure my man wouldn't.
He did. That was the one where him and Bishop had cut up so bad we end up having church before the thing started.
Mm-hmm.
Try to have prayed.
That's the one all of us were on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. He did. You remember trying to have prayed, and then Dr. Bond got up, and they took 30 minutes because we shot before the program started. But you gotta love Dr. Bond for being Dr. Bond.
Yes. Isaac, what about you?
Well, we got some little stuff up our sleeves. I got this new single that's gonna be coming out real soon. A little church, little song a lot of people been asking about. Little song I wrote about 15 years ago called Heaven. So we're getting ready to bring that on. We're working on our second live recording, but haven't really found the date yet. Still soliciting songs and stuff of that matter. And we got a few engagements coming up. I think we'll be with Nate Bean. We'll be with Anthony, you all coming up in June for James Andrews. And we got some stuff coming up. I think we're supposed to be in Dallas as well with VJ them with Ray Holmes. So yeah, just stay tuned. We got some little stuff coming out that we think y'all gonna like.
Okay. So Founder, normally I kind of talk about the recording when we're wrapping up, but I'm gonna let you share your heart. Let's give us the details, and then we have one question. I have one question for everybody on the way out. So share your heart about the recording and insert the details for us, please.
Well, I had the bright idea of doing something different that no one else from Milwaukee had ever done, and that was doing a live recording in Chicago. So it definitely will be history in the making because no other artist from Milwaukee has ever did a live recording. in Chicago. So I'm definitely excited about that. I'm excited about the guests that we have coming in. I got my niece DeAndrea Foster from Nashville. Well, she's Murfreesboro in that area, but she sings with this quartet group down there, Broken, the Nashville Divas, and she gonna dog walk this song that I got her doing. I got different songwriters. This album is gonna be so different because usually I write the bulk of our stuff. This time I've got a song by Darnell Davis. I got a song from David Frazier. I've got a song from a couple Milwaukee writers, and just so it's a big collab thing. I got Tiffany Andrews coming in. I got some Milwaukee. James Ziegler wrote at least 2 or 3 songs for us. He's also going to be there singing. The Kathy Harris, one of the Milwaukee writers, she's the one that wrote "Lift Jesus" for Kim Burrell. Lift Jesus. She wrote a song week for us. I mean, it's going to be amazing. So it's going to be at Trinity All Nations. That's the church where they recorded. Are you ready? Are you ready? Dun, dun, for the come. So it's history happening that night. So you don't want to miss it. The choir has I've learned. I thank God for being a new G because I've learned a lot from Ricky and the way New G operates now is that we'll do the overdubs prior to the actual session. That way, after the session, everybody's go out and he's trying to fight and get them. So we're doing all of that. So the stems are amazing. This choir has sang, and that alone has me excited. Like, oh my God, like So it's just this is going to be an amazing, amazing recording.
Yeah.
May 31st at Trinity All Nations, 9600 Vincennes. I think is how you say that street name. And it's not a
Vincent.
late night recording with doors opening at 3 in the afternoon and starting at 4. I enjoy being able to be out of church at 8 o'clock and not 10 o'clock having to drive back to the hotel or drive back home. So I'm enjoying. We're gonna do it early so we can do what we need to do and get up out.
And where can they get tickets? How many
They
VIP
can go on.
tickets are left?
Oh, earlier there was only like 10 VIP tickets left. I'm not sure exactly how many are left right now. I believe there were about 10, I think. But VIP is only online. Eventbrite, that is $45. General admission choir members have, as well as they're online as well. They're $30. If you just cannot get online, then it's 35 at the door.
Yes, yes, yes. All right.
Anthony, I can't be there. You know I want to be there, but
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna send you some money tonight to buy a couple VIPs.
Oh, can you
Cool,
give us
cool.
what are the ways of giving for sowing seats on the
Okay. For donations, if you want to, you can Zelle at ampmbookinginfo.com. ampmbookinginfo.com. Or you can give to the Cash App, which is AMPM Sing, $ AMPM Sing.
Thank you. All right, so we on our way out. Thank you, James. He got his ticket. So we are on our way out. So we're gonna I want 3 things in one. I had to write it down. So you guys are very much so familiar with Anthony McGahee and Praise Motivated Sound. So my question to you is, of course, you haven't heard. I don't think y'all have heard any of the. Okay, all right. So my question is, if you know AMPM, what kind of sound or what kind of song do you expect to hear? If you just had to think about Anthony in his mind, what do you expect to hear? Why should people be at this recording? And then end with a word of encouragement to Anthony directly for strength, spiritual strength, since you know what the grind, the process, the pains, the joy of leading choir ministry, as well as doing a live production. If you can just drop a word of encouragement. So what if you know AMPM, what do you expect to hear? Why should people be in the building? And then a word of encouragement for Anthony. And anybody can jump in.
I'll jump in real quick. I expect you all to do some very good choral very good choral pieces that will end up all the way up there somewhere. Why should people be there? Because you guys are definitely anointed for this season. I believe that you're birthing a wonderful sound in this season. Being able to be there and experience your hearts, and really just see the authenticity of who you guys are. Um, Nobody should want to miss it. It's going to definitely be an experience. And the last thing for me to encourage Anthony, I'm just going to tell you what I told you before. You are necessary. Everything that God has put in you is necessary for right now. And everything that you seemingly had, it seemed as if you missed or got looked over. All that is, you're getting ready to walk into everything that God has for you because of your heart and because of your consistency and commitment to Him, your faithfulness to Him. You're faithful, man, and God honors faithfulness. So be encouraged, embrace it, run with it, and just be ready because the dates are getting ready to start coming in, bruh.
Thank you. Everybody, the choir in the comments, like, the whole project is high. I'm like, we don't have not one ground level song. Everything, I'm going to sleep with no air all week to make sure I have a full voice. Go ahead, Nate.
I'm gonna say, what am I expecting? I definitely think there's gonna be a bump. One song there's gonna be a bump. I hope that there's some type of anthem vibe. And I'm looking forward to see choreography. And that's one thing I know. I'm not about that life with 4G. That is not our strong suit. We practice choreography at every rehearsal, and when it's time to go out, if you watch our videos, they just bump into each other and they just stop. So I'm looking forward. Y'all got that. Like, y'all can do that. Why do I think people should attend? I think that people should attend because you are a part of the next layer of the evolution of gospel. And I feel like just show up to be a part of more new gospel music. Like gospel, I feel like it's the only genre that will go on forever. It just keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps growing. So I think that's a reason why people should come. My words of encouragement to you is to, I was going to say never, I'm going to say stop second guessing yourself. Stop second guessing yourself and don't negotiate your value. You are valuable. You know how much you're worth. And don't ever let anybody diminish what you know you're worth. And I believe that this live recording is going to be the closure and the comfort you need in the season that you're in right now. I believe that it's just going to seal all the worrying, all the anxiety, and all of the days of comparison. So we throw all that away tonight. Any type of comparison that's gone, and I feel like this live recording is going to seal the deal. So I'm looking forward to experiencing that. I can't wait.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I know it's gonna definitely be a little groove, a little bop in that number somewhere. And like Nick said, the choreography is gonna be in the building. Cause listen, if you ain't never seen or witnessed AMPM live, you are in. Oh my God, you are in for a treat. And again, like he said, that's my big brother. I mean, we talk. I know some of the downfalls and discouragements that you have gone through personally. And I believe, like the scriptures say, God is going to restore everything that the cankerworm has stolen from you all. So I just, wish nothing but blessings, nothing but great things. And like B. Chase said, get ready because the dates are coming up. We talk about it all the time. But in this season, it's our time, your time, our time, all of our time. So yeah, nothing but great success, man. I'll be praying for you all. If I can sneak away, you know I'll be there, but you know I got you. Anything you need, I'll be right here to send my donations, and we'll be praying for you on a great, successful night.
Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McCoy.
Okay, so the record that y'all put out is so daring. There is like rock and roll inspired, and there is hip hop inspired on there. So a lot of people probably didn't listen to the whole. They pick they one or two songs they like, but I listened to the whole record over and over and over, and I hear all these daring things that you all did on that record. So I'm hoping I get like a point 2.0, like where you're even more daring with that same type of like y'all hit everything you could imagine on that Kingdom work. You hit some hip hop, you had hit some, it's kind of rockish sounding stuff. Was that the song that you led, Anthony? There was a lot of stuff that I'm like, okay, this is like ahead of its time. You were doing what people just now trying to do. Except for y'all could scream. Everybody else is doing that can't scream and do that. So I'm expecting that with that screamage plus that choreography plus see told you I study everybody. Anthony, you do what we can't do. Because you could direct like that. With all those moves and stuff and the choir moving. Yeah, you see. And Squall the lead. So, I'm expecting all of that. People need to go to Trinity over there and that's a very anointed church. Bishop wrote a lot of hot songs. I wrote a medley y'all probably sing that medley. The Are You Ready medley with. So that church is the way you're gonna have your Holy Ghost oil. We're gonna have a good time. People need to come. As far as encouraging words go, I will say this because we all in the same age range. Some of us might feel like we got skipped over, especially with the way the industry did choirs, because we should have been, all of us that's in that, me, you, Patrick, all of us, we were supposed to be that next wave, but the industry went and made everything praise and worship and made everything solo focused. But I want to encourage you that a lot of times when I read in the Bible, all of the good stuff that God did for people, folk was doing pits for 5 and 10 years. People were waiting till they were 7 years old to have children. All of the miracles that Jesus and the Lord God performed, somebody had to wait for a while. And you might feel like, okay, I waited my turn, but then God turned around and you be like Samuel Jackson to be 50 years old and be the highest paid, the highest ranking actor. I don't think nobody has ever made more money than Samuel Jackson in all his combined movies. And he didn't become a star until he was in his late 40s. So I want to encourage you that age does not matter to the Lord God Jesus. He don't care if you're 80, because if you're 80 and he do it, he'll turn around and let you live to be 110. So you can enjoy it. So be encouraged. Y'all choir, McGahee Nam, y'all know everybody is a Nam. I could be Chase Nam, Isaac Nam, Nate Nam. McGahee Nam, y'all stick with y'all founder. Don't get discouraged. If you see that he's depressed or going through, you got to feel it. You got to be in the spirit praying. You're supposed to be praying for your leader so you know what he's going through. And you give him a call. And a lot of times as a leader, we put our own money in. Y'all send him some money. Tell him, I would just think about you and send him $50. Because when folk don't do right or ticket sales don't go right or somebody, guess who's going to be on the hook? Because musicians don't care. They don't care nothing about what you raise, none of that. They finna be wear my coin. So y'all, and he has job. He works. He probably got 2-3 jobs. I think you got 2-3 jobs. I just, I watch stuff. And he may not say nothing. He may just bite the bullet and pay them bills that wasn't covered. Y'all send some money.
Okay.
Get together and do him right and say, Founder, we love you and we sorry. Because choir members act a fool. Now everybody on here know choir members will act a fool with you on your time. We sorry, even if you ain't did nothing, you don't think you ain't did nothing. Say we sorry for acting a fool founder and letting you down and not paying our dues or assessment fees, and send him some money because he ain't said a mumbling word. He ain't got to tell me he ain't said a mumbling word. I can see it on his face when I can see it on all these directors' faces when they going through. So that's my advice, not just to him, but to the choir. Stick by your leader. And I don't care. You know, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. My friend, her name was Jackie Morissette. I don't know if you know her. She was one of the baddest altos that ever walked the face of the earth. And she sang with Kenny Lewis. And she told me, she said, I don't care what nobody say about my founder. She said, I don't care if he get up there and mess up, flop on. She said, if he fall, we all falling with him. And that's what I want y'all, McGahee now. I don't care what nobody say about your founder. Don't let them fix their lips in your presence to read your founder in any kind of crazy way. And if he mess up, you read him in private and support him in public.
Absolutely.
That's my advice.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you said that. Reminder, PM, we fasting tomorrow. So I'm so glad you said that.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I want to say it to everybody that's on this live. Numbers 23:19 says, God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. But if he said it, he will do it. And I want to encourage all of you on this. All of you are necessary. All of you, you're carrying weight. You're anointed. You're gifted. You're talented. And what you're carrying, the world needs. And this is a huge world. All of us singing gospel music, but we all gonna reach somebody different. So, and whatever God showed you, stick to it because he showed it to you for a reason. He showed it to you because he's got to bring it to pass.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing us all together.
Thank y'all for saying yes. I'm elated.
Thank you
I'm
all.
so excited. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for tearing with me. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you all. I pray that this platform and this live, there's somebody that was tuning in, that up and coming choir directors, the Gen Zs, the millennials are encouraged. They got some wisdom. I love how you guys love each other. That was beautiful for me to see. And I think that this was just, I kind of just reached out to whom the Lord gave me. So I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your support. Again, Anthony McGahee and Praise Motivated, we will be recording next Saturday in Chicago, Illinois, Trinity All Nations Church. Tickets are $30 for general admission, $45 for VIP. If you purchase on Eventbrite, that will close on what day, Founder?
I believe that closes Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday of next week. So we need to get ticket sales. If you're purchasing online, make sure that you get that done here over the weekend, or reach out to somebody. We can get you tickets. We can mail them. So you can inbox myself, Anthony, any one of the choir members will be pushing. But thank you all so much for your wisdom. We respect your tutelage. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Y'all have a wonderful night. Make sure y'all share this live again so people can come back and be blessed. Love you all. Have a good night.
Love y'all.
Bye-bye. Love you, man.
Thank you.
Love y'all. Love y'all. Good night.
So y'all, my cat. He said bye.
Bye, kitty. Thank you so much. The real McCoy.
See you.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Thank you for
Good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.